Still can't locate Shaw.
He's down there. We need to find him now.
You ready for this?
Let's find out.
Nat, he's Matt. We got your geek news right here.
We are going to talk about something near and dear to most comic book lovers' hearts, and that's X-Men. 4 or 5 or 0, depending on how you're counting. But either way, it is the first class, and it was all class. I loved this movie. Matthew Vaughn finally made his X-Men movie, and it was beautiful.
It was beautiful, and it was awesome that it was a period piece. Love the fact that it took place back in the day. We started right off from World War II with the baby Magneto. Well, I guess Magneto was a child.
And you know what? Was it just me, or did it feel like a shot-for-shot of the first X-Men movie? We started in exactly the same place.
Exactly. You did see the exact same part, it felt like, where you see Magneto being torn apart from his parents, and then you see that next moment where you see him reacting angrily and emotionally and that power coming out, and then the rest of the part that you never saw in the first X-Men, but you see fleshing in this movie, which was awesome.
And we get to see who was watching this entire exchange. Turns out it was Kevin Bacon, who plays an amazing Sebastian Shaw. Perfect. I loved it.
Yeah, he was. He was brilliant. I was really impressed by his linguistic skills, and he was sinister, yet it's one of those situations that I know Matt and I both love where there's not a black and white villain. It's
a point of view.
Exactly. It's totally about the point of view, and his point of view, depending on how you look at it, makes sense.
Now, there was one part of this film that did not depend on your point of view. No matter what, January Jones was horrible. Oh my god, worst possible casting as White Queen, because White Queen is this sinister, sexy, brilliant character, and she came off as everything but that cleavage, that was perfect.
Yeah, she was smoking hot, but the thing is, every time I see her in Mad Men, she always comes off a little flat, and I thought maybe it's her character. I think it's just January Jones, because White Queen was also quite flat, I thought. Well, not physically, clearly, but her character was flat. Her acting was flat. I think she's just not a good actress, is what it comes down to it.
Maybe. I mean, the only other complaint I could really have was that some of the visual effects made it obvious that Matthew Vaughn only had 10 months, because some of the effects, like the satellite shifting in the background, some of that just wasn't quite there. The barbed wire that came up, a few things were just bad. You really could tell that they took so much time filming this perfectly that post-production was rushed, and the effects suffered.
I guess so. I know you absolutely loved the way Beast turned out, right?
Oh, what a bad idea. If there was one thing that Brett Ratner had right in X-Men 3, it was Kelsey Grammer with that makeup.
Hey, the actor was great, though, in this movie. I thought Beast was great.
He was great until the moment he looked like a blue wolfman.
He did.
And, the worst part of it was his intro. He looked like the biggest loser. He looked like he was
coming through the shadows,
yeah,
you mean, at the airbase? What, you didn't love the dramaticism?
No, because Beast just hit the second level of his mutation. He just became more bestial.
So he should have been a little more acrobatic and
animalistic. He should have been bombastically bouncing off the walls in like a digital Yoda, sort of, just, I can't believe what I'm looking at.
That kind of thing?
Exactly. And to have him just sort of strutting in, it just didn't work for me. And the dog lips, everything about that just bugged me.
To me, he just looked like that. You know Beauty and the Beast, Linda Hamilton back in the day?
Oh.
Beast. He looked like a CG version of the Beast, except with Wolverine's hairdo and blue.
Yeah.
That's what he looked like.
It was sad, really. It was somewhere between Joss Whedon's version and the version that existed in the cartoon in the 90s. It just was not a good version.
Okay, fair enough. In terms of good CG, I actually thought Mystique was fabulously done, personally. I really liked the way it turned out.
Yeah, you know what? There was one other issue I had with this movie, and it's that it took great pains to become a prequel, and yet broke a lot of conventions that the other 3 X-Men films established.
Like what?
Well, take a look at Mystique and Xavier's interaction in this film.
Right, okay.
And then consider the fact that in previous films, Mystique has tried to murder Xavier with that weird injected thing into Cerebro that she did. And if she put that there with vengeance in her mind because of the way that Charles treated her, or if she put that there conflicted, really not sure whether she wanted to do this to her, for all intents and purposes, her surrogate brother, that would have made sense. But Rebecca Romijn put that there in a previous film like it was nothing. Like
She's
it was
just doing her
rolling.
job.
Yeah, like it was rolling down her back.
Fine.
And that bugged me.
Exactly. So in terms of the continuity, that way, I guess that kind of sucked. But in other respects, I thought it was ridiculously cool. I mean, for example, I loved getting to see Magneto, seeing where he started from, and just seeing that character flesh out, where I look at Magneto based on this prequel or origin story, and all of a sudden I see Magneto in the original movies, and he's no longer a villain to me. He is this incredibly deep, tortured character that has had so much happen to him, and it's just a matter of different philosophies. That's clearly all it comes down to.
And I love the fact that by the end of the film, he has become Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah.
I mean, he started out as this awesome Nazi-killing super assassin that eventually turns into a Nazi. He becomes a complete... He becomes a complete full circle. He is now exactly what the Nazis were. We are superior. The humans must be exterminated. That was a beautiful turn. And yeah, you now can look at the way he's portrayed in the other three films as that point of view, and you see exactly where it comes from.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
And then seeing his relationship with Xavier was awesome. Seeing the way that how they first met and how they interacted and how they came apart towards the end of the movie, and even with Xavier himself, like the whole time I was watching him, he's walking, he has hair, he's this like pimpin' dude, he's brilliant and scholarly, and he's picking up all the chicks.
And he's a partying, womanizing
exactly.
college
And the entire
kid.
time I'm trying to figure out, okay, at what point does he become, or start to become the Xavier that we know physically?
Yeah.
And then at the end, oh my gosh.
Heartbreaking.
It was.
Heartbreaking. And even at that, when Magneto is fully to blame, he manages to somehow decide you did this, human, and it really is an endemic thing. Magneto refuses to ever take the blame, and he goes down this road the whole way in the same way that Sebastian Shaw did. He goes down this road, and it's just so tragic but beautiful to see.
It is, and this is what I've always loved about X-Men stories. I mean, even if there were certain movies that didn't come out as well as they could have, just the core of it, though, I love the philosophy of mutants and integrating with society, or mutants and damn you humans, you don't understand us and we are better than you, we're more evolved than you. And this movie clearly still had that complexity and those themes battling each other out, which I loved. I thought it was very well done in this movie.
Absolutely. And the cameos.
Yeah.
Wow. I've got to say, I loved the fact that we got to see a little bit of Wolverine.
Yes.
We got to see a little bit of future, and we got to see a little bit of future Mystique, which both cement this as a prequel, because otherwise those are the only two actors that are the same across the board. So
how much they got paid for those cameos?
I hope nothing at all, because it was just so awesome to see them there.
Very, very cool.
Now, there were some other background characters that popped in there, and, you know, the kids and the sidekicks were a bit thrown to the side when you consider the fact that this was a movie about Charles and Eric. But it was good to see Sebastian Shaw's crazy sidekicks, because...
Personally, I wasn't familiar with them. I mean, I grew up, collecting the cards and reading the comics, but those two in particular...
Yeah, Riptide, I like the change. I don't think he had a line in the movie, but he certainly worked the way the character pretty much should have.
He was very suave with his
European
lustrous hair.
And Azazel was fantastic. Because
very cool, based on the story.
Not to spoil anything here, but the reason that looks like Nightcrawler is because that's Nightcrawler's dad.
Yeah.
And you may not know, but Mystique is Nightcrawler's mom.
There we go. And
so by the end of the film,
it's very poetic, that they both end up together on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what goes down between that movie and when we see Nightcrawler.
Exactly. So that was really neat, and some of the characters that they had in the first class.
Totally. I mean, I remember Havoc to me so familiar. I loved seeing him there. Banshee. Who knew he was so cool? He was ridiculously cool in this movie.
Banshee really flew for me. That worked really well.
And then there was Darwin, and I was like, who the hell was Darwin?
And seriously, you got to kill the black guy? What the? It's the 60s.
I think
you gotta
maybe
do
you're
that.
reading into it.
I don't know. But there was a point, you got to see a Summers brother, at least. It wasn't
Cool.
Scott, but it was Alex, so that was nice.
And Angel.
Beast was there.
Okay, please explain Angel to me, because I remember Angel as part of, the original team being a dude, Caucasian dude.
Yeah, and this is where Matthew Vaughn's film is hamstrung by the previous ones, because we've already seen Angel in the third one. We've seen Marvel Girl, we've seen Scott Summers, we've seen a lot of the original team. We've established that Bobby Drake, Iceman, is a kid in the 90s, so obviously he can't be a part of the first class.
Right.
So, this film was hamstrung by that, but Beast got to be in it, and still in continuity if you think about it, because Kelsey Grammer's character in the third one was pretty old, so that worked out well, but really, it was the first class as best as it could. There were some secondary characters and tertiary characters that were brought up to the big leagues for this film, and some felt a little bit made up, but it was good. It was by and large well handled. The essential characters were there, and the essential ones really were Eric and Charles.
And you know what? I will say that, comic book movie or not, the story itself was well done, and the characters were well fleshed out. I was moved by the drama. I was happy when they were happy. I was distraught when they were distraught. Overall, I think it may have been quite possibly the best comic book movie of the year.
Oh yeah, and what a cast! I mean, to have James McAvoy was just incredible.
Assbender, he's so good.
He is a serious assbender. I walked out of that place with my fast totally bent.
Yeah,
it was well done.
Definitely.
Yeah, I loved the casting.
Very well done.
It did break my heart a little bit. Spoiler warning, that we are now going to see any subsequent films without being able to see Charles running alongside Beast.
Yeah.
Those moments were really cool. And the hair jokes. This would work better if we just shaved it. You're not touching my hair.
Yeah.
They were really fun.
It does make me wonder when he loses all his hair, though.
Yeah, that's going to be obviously a big plot point, since shooting him in the back was a big one. So, it's the kind of thing where I can't wait to see more of them, and I hope they don't pull an X-Men 3 and ruin the entire franchise
I have a question for you. I stayed till the end of the credits and found no post-credit scene.
No, very disappointing. But
why? This
to
is
be
shocking, actually.
To be fair, it is more of a Marvel Studios, not a Fox Studios move to put those things at the end. It's an Avengers thing.
Every other Marvel movie we've seen, every other one.
None of the X-Men's. Only Wolverine. Only Wolverine had that at the end, actually.
Thor had something at the end.
But Thor is an Avengers movie. All of the
Iron
Avengers
Man had
movies.
something at the end.
Iron Man's an Avengers movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's
so
a very
not
wuzzy line.
Marvel umbrella. It's not the Marvel umbrella. It's
No.
a certain
In fact,
brand. Fine,
you know what?
Fine.
One of the upcoming awesome movies this year is going to be Captain America, and the two characters that they were gonna put into a World War II story were gonna be Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Magneto. Because that would work so well with a World War II story, but the rights don't mix. And that's the sad thing at this point. These movies are so interrelated. But, Fox has the rights to some of them, and Paramount has the rights to other ones.
Down to real-life politics, really?
Yeah, it's
You're
unfortunately...
taking this away from us?
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Wolverine in the upcoming Captain America.
That big.
Yeah, because at that point he would have been James Howlett and not even considered himself Logan. So there would have been some cool stuff going on there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but we have a lot of movies to look forward to. We've got Green Lantern coming up, which could be good, could be bad. Those trailers are a little bit spotty.
Excited about it.
Yeah, you know what? We'll get into Ryan in a bit, but I'm looking forward to that one. We've also got Transformers coming up. There's Captain America. There's some really good stuff coming up this year.
Harry Potter, Twilight.
Yes,
Please
yes.
don't think that we're not going to do those movies still.
Guaranteed. Patience is a virtue, everyone. We do everything we can to make this work across the border, but we will definitely be back with some more reviews for you guys soon.
Okay, bye.
The real enemy is out there. I feel their guns moving on the water, targeting us. Go ahead, Charles. Tell me I'm wrong. Fire! Eric, you said yourself, we're the better men. This is the time to prove it.
There are thousands of men on those ships that are just following orders.
I've been at the mercy of men just following orders. Never again.